Okay, well, welcome back, everybody, to Massive Late Fee. We have another special guest here. I know you've been liking these interviews, so we're definitely going to try to bring more of these to you. Today, we are talking to a very interesting actor, Italian in origin, by Belgium by birth, French by influence, and English by current location. It is Giuseppe Lentini. He will be appearing in the new Disney film Artemis Fowl later this summer. How are you doing, Giuseppe?
Hi, everybody. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, no problem. We're very excited to have you here. So, as I said at the beginning, your parents are Italian. You were born in Belgium. You currently
Yes,
live in the UK.
London. Yeah, in London. Yeah.
What does all that kind of diversity and just different influence, how does that inform you as an actor?
Well, I find that super kind of interesting to have all this different kind of background, and especially also living here now, living in London. It's been 15 years now that I live in London, so I can call myself a bit British, although you can tell by the accent that I haven't lost my Belgian French accent. But no, I find that really, really interesting to be, I call myself like a citizen of the world, basically, because I have all this kind of different influence from going back to my childhood and from my origin. My parents were both from Sicily, like Sicilian, it's called Agrigento, the Valley of the Temple, Temple Valley, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. But funny enough, my mom couldn't stand the heat, so she decided to go more north, and that's why I was basically born in Belgium, because it was a bit cooler, and for her. And obviously, I was born in the French-speaking part of Belgium, which is called Wallonia, and you might have heard that somehow in America. And basically, yes. So my dad was an opera singer. From the age of like 7, his parents have discovered that he had kind of a beautiful voice, and they decided to just help and have a bit of a singing teacher and so on. And then he ended up having like his kind of troupe and touring a bit in Belgium, in France, in Luxembourg, and all the thing. And he was singing a bit like opera, operetta, So basically at home from a very young age, we were always like, there was always lots of music at home, because my dad loved music, but not just opera. He loved also pop music. Like one of his favorite artists back then were like basically Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and Michael Jackson, Prince. So we were kind of cool with my dad because he was so into pop music and everything that it was like he was like our best mate because he could understand us. So it was quite interesting. And then, it's a kind of a typical Hollywood story, basically, like for film. Unfortunately, destiny decided otherwise, and I think my dad had a kind of a difficult time. And basically, by what happened, decided he couldn't really sing anymore. He lost the voice at heart, I could say like this. And like in every kind of big family, like we are 5 siblings, there's always one who's gonna decide to pursue what was not achieved by their parents, and I think that was me. So and I always thought I was going to do something in music, because I inherited kind of my dad's voice, a bit of it, and so I always tried to do something in pop. And basically, I wrote my own very first song when I was like 16, which was called, believe you me, Believe in Yourself.
Okay.
So, and that was kind of when I think about this journey I'm on today, and which is actually all about believing in yourself, whoever you are out there, if you believe in yourself, then someday maybe someone will believe in you.
That's beautiful.
Because I think, yeah, that's the thing, because at the end of the day, I think for many years, I've been chasing like maybe a dream in show business and so on, thinking like, please help me, please believe in me. When actually I realized quite, after all this journey that I went through, that basically I do believe in myself today. I'm the one who can make things happen, because by believing in me, I can attract someone who can believe in me and give me the opportunity to show my talent.
Now,
That's perception.
as an actor, who would you say is your biggest influence as far as your style goes?
Basically, I love Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
I really like him. I mean, The Shining, I love this performance that he had in there.
Mm-hmm.
But also, obviously, being Sicilian, from a Sicilian background, I also love the Godfather. So I love Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, and obviously the movies from Martin Scorsese, and all these people. Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite influenced by that a lot. Yeah. And obviously, let's not forget. Obviously, I've been raised in the French language.
Right.
So there are also amazing artists in France like Simone Signoret and Yves Montand and Jean Gabin and all those monsters of French cinema. Some of them made it a bit to Hollywood as well, by the way. But so I was quite influenced by all this different culture, like a bit Italian, a bit French, a bit Belgian, a bit, and I even here in England as well, where I kind of like some of these actors as well.
Now, speaking of The Godfather, you were on a TV series for 9 episodes called Mobsters.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and your role in that show?
Well, basically, it's it's a bit like a comedy, obviously. Yeah? So we take a bit like a piss in what's going on in this world, basically. And I'm naive enough in this part that I'm playing as and I think I can save the world with a banana, basically. So. And so I pretend to be the naive one and so on. Obviously, I'm very wise and I know exactly what I'm doing, but I just pretend, So, and it was quite a very interesting journey that part, because we're quite an amazing, little team, and everyone believed in the project a lot. And basically, there's even a plan eventually in the very near future to actually try to make it like a little feature film about this mobster kind of story. So we'll see more of that maybe. Yeah. Okay. And I love the yellow hat, basically. Yeah. It suited me well.
That would be great for sure. Now I know you'd made the trip recently to Hollywood for pilot season. Met a lot of people there. Let me ask you, for those of you, obviously this is an audio medium, so you guys can't see Giuseppe, but for those of you that don't know, you are 4'11", and obviously you have the very interesting accent. You can definitely hear the French Belgian influence, a little bit of mix of a couple other things as well. So you've got the accent, the height. How does that difference help you as far as when you're auditioning and things like that?
Well, honestly, for many years, I thought that was kind of playing against me. But then I came to realize, quite in the last couple of months and casting I attended, that basically casting directors like people who are different. Mm-hmm. And basically now what's happening in the most recent casting I had is like, the casting process usually is like, you get to a first casting. If they like you, if the producer or the production company likes you, they get you to come back, which they call that a callback. Mm-hmm. And basically, in my last couple of casting, I was straight in callback sessions. So I was not even asked to attend the first casting. So I started to realize that there was a certain interest in something different. So basically, there would be a shortcut like of 4 or 5 actors, which would be like average build and the thing you always see in TV, like the apples, as I like to use it. Mm-hmm. When you buy 6 apples in a supermarket, they're always like the same shine and the same color and the same size and everything. So that's the same in casting. So when you go in the casting, the casting I attend, usually I see 4 or 5 guys who pretty much look all the same. And here I am on the corner, and I'm the kind of the joker. So, and I think casting director get me in to be like the guy who is completely different from the other 4 they've chosen. And so I'm always like the option. So if the producer and, the production company thinks, oh yeah, maybe we could try this guy instead of the same old, then I'm always kind of this option. So basically also in casting, as we know, I mean, most of the time, because of heights requirements and, casting is always kind of when you look at some series and so on, you can see, or film, you always have kind of pretty much people of, if not like exactly same size, but you know what I mean? There's always kind of a model of heights.
Yeah.
And
yep.
So you rarely see like an extremely tall guy or girl or a smaller guy or, So maybe, I don't know, because they would need to give me a little ladder to get to the size, to match the size of the other guy. I don't know. But I don't mind. I don't mind to just carry my own little ladder and follow the guys, but hey. And so I'm going to say it's a plus to be different, because that's what I came to realize as today, presently, like that this is quite of my luck to be different now. But as I was saying, for many years, maybe I felt like maybe I'm too different, and but I believe once you really embrace who you are, whoever you are out there, if you really embrace who you are, you embrace your differences and everything, you make it like radiate, it's kind of radiating that you are well in your own skin, And I think that people around, I really believe in energies and everything. So I think that if you radiate from inside, people can pick that energy. And I think even when you attend casting, you are in that room with, casting directors and film directors and production team, everyone looking at you there. And I think if you have that energy, that radiating energy, then they can pick that up. And sometimes that can get you the job. That can be enough to get you the job, because they feel that you are well and you feel good and all of that. But that is in the ideal world, and as I said, this is how I feel today, and in the most recent months and so on. And because I have completely embraced who I am now, because I know at the end of the day, there's no point to try to be someone else that I will never be. I am the way God has created me. And I have to embrace that, and it's a gift. So and I feel good, so basically, the message I want to carry as well is not just for me, but basically for all the millions of people out there who, like me, have some kind of difference and might feel sometimes that they don't fit in. That basically what I said those days as well. It's great to stand out. It's Absolutely. Actually amazing to stand out. It's amazing to be different at the end of the day. It's just amazing. It's a blessing. But I say it took me a journey to come to that state of mind. But now I'm here, and I'm here to stay.
I think that cinema in the in the 50s and the 60s, at least in this country, I know that there were a lot of things being tried in Europe, especially France during that time. But in the United States in the 50s and the 60s, we got to a pretty stale point as far as cinema went, and a lot of it is like you're talking about, with everyone kind of looking the same, everyone sort of acting the same. And it really wasn't until the 1970s we got a little more of that European influence, and they started to, Jack Nicholson came up during that time, and that's when Martin Scorsese came up, and different directors sort of took charge with this vision, and they embraced a lot of differences from actors and different kind of acting choices, and that's really when cinema kind of opened up in this country. So I definitely agree with what you're saying as far as embracing difference. I think that, especially, looking at it from a casting director's point of view, you see the same type, like, blonde, 6 foot tall dude come in time after time. It just gets monotonous. But seeing someone like you, obviously there are different types of roles you can play and different types of things that you can bring across. Yeah,
and that's what I want to, and that's what I've been trying to convince, because I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it, and also some casting director keeps calling me back. So I mean, surely they see that there is some potential. But I mean, sometimes I always say success comes with opportunities. Mm-hmm. Everyone can be successful if they are given the opportunity, and this is what a lot of people are lacking: the opportunity. And so, especially in this business of show business and cinema and film and TV and so on, it's to do with, it goes from the basis, and the basis is about the storytelling. It's about the writing, about the writers, the screenwriters. These are the guys who basically can write these stories for all those people, all those different type of people. Mm-hmm. It all goes from there, from the storytelling. So if they decide to include people, misfits or underdogs or whatever they want to call them, in their stories, then these stories maybe one day will be told. But so it all goes from there, from the writer. The guy who's going to take this white piece of paper and start writing, and I say, oh, I want to talk about this little chap or this rounded girl or this super tall guy or this guy on a wheelchair or, any kind of thing, or this ginger girl or, anything. Or this super skinny girl and anything, but it all goes from that white piece of paper and this pen and this writer who can put that on and start telling stories,
Absolutely.
Untold stories. And there are so many people who are unrepresented, and I think sometimes without any kind of pretension, I feel that my journey hasn't been an easy journey. It hasn't, because basically it's been a story about acceptance. My own acceptance. It's been a story about going through like zillion of rejection, even in casting. 9 times out of 10 you are rejected anyway. But also being different. I mean, you get some natural rejection from the moment you are a child until you become an adult. You're facing so much rejection for being different. And it's fine. And it's fine because it shows, like I always say, I kind of grateful to my grandparents. They gave me that strength, that inner strength that I have, because I mean, I went through all that kind of mass rejection, and I think I'm still here talking and trying to inspire other people to just say, embrace who you are, embrace your difference, and believe in yourself, and don't give up. And I'm sure that one day, we are quite a couple of millions, just to say the least, in this world to be different. So I mean, all those million people together is quite a big crowd.
Absolutely.
So I hope that hopefully one day all together, the more we are talking about this diversity, that we would like to see more of it on TV and in films, and because I always say, diversity, I think in a lot of media is a lot about like two colors, white and black.
Right.
Without offending anyone out there who's listening, colored people or white people. And basically it's like these quota, let's put 2 of these and let's put 3 of that, But I mean, diversity, as many of you listeners might recognize themselves in this, it's so much more than a color. Mm-hmm. And there are so many, as I say, so many different kind of people who are not representing and who actually never see anyone like themselves in a TV program or in a film. And I think if I can just make a point, because I know that there's a lot of talks recently about the new kind of media like Netflix, for example, which actually I really like, because basically what I like about Netflix is they're actually telling stories that no one has been telling before. They are maybe giving more opportunities to film directors to hire the kind of actors they want. Like if you take a film like Roma from Alfonso Cuarón, who's been actually made an amazing film with actually a lot of unknown actors and things like that. I mean, I think that something like this in a kind of big traditional studio is unlikely to happen.
Yeah, We talked about that movie on the program a few weeks back. That's definitely one. Yeah, that's an amazing film, and I think Alfonso Cuarón could have probably got that into theaters, but I don't. I'm not to disparage the country of my birth, but American audiences tend to shy away from foreign films, unfortunately, because there's a lot of good work being done in different places like Mexico, Italy, France. There are a lot of good films being made out there that people in America just really don't see, unfortunately. And
maybe that Roma, maybe that Netflix was fitting perfectly a film like Roma, because then you could be seen everywhere in the world without having especially to fit in one special market.
Yeah,
so it was like out there in the world, and
I think more people gave it a chance. More people in this country, I think, gave it a chance because of the ease of finding it on Netflix. So even though the cinematography is gorgeous, and I think it really kind of deserves to be seen on a big screen, I think I think the choice to put it on Netflix probably was the right one, because I think more people gave it a chance, and it's an astounding film.
Yeah. But also I think because they were pretty much all unknown actors in this film, and obviously the big studio usually they like to attach a big name to a project or things like that. So that might be a point as well where it went that route, I suppose. But I thought in terms of diversity, this film was just amazing in terms of the cast and everything. It was like, it shows that you can make a beautiful movie without especially having you can have people who are different and sounds different and look different and still have a beautiful product at the end, you see? And I thought that just for that, I thought it was quite interesting.
Absolutely.
But I always say that the thing is, we talk a lot about diversity. There's so many talks about diversity. But I mean, the thing is that in action, that's what we would like to see. Myself here, when I take the Underground here in London, you watch all those programs on TV, then you go and take the Underground, and you see so many diverse kind of type of people on the train, which basically you never see them represented in any type of program, even on British TV. A lot of the people, different culture we have in this country, you basically pretty much never see them, never see actors or representative of these different communities. And I think that would be interesting sometime to have program. I'm not saying that they have to have all the programs talking about diversity. They can still keep some of those same old beautiful apples all the same in one program, but they could give us something different.
Right.
So we don't ask that everything has to be diverse, but I mean, there could be a bit more. That's what I mean. And slowly but surely we'll get there and be having a bit more representation of the different, level of the communities, different communities and cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think in America, is it the same? Is it pretty much the same as here, or?
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah, I would say that. There's a push for more diversity, of course, but as you said, diversity means different things to different people, I suppose. There's a lot of, people will put themselves into groups, unfortunately, and there's a lot of black and white or gay or straight or transgendered, or not.
Oh, yes.
And so I think a lot of times when people talk about diversity, they talk about things like that. But as you said, there are
exactly.
all types of different types of people out there. Whether it's weight, height, just different types of faces and things like that. And I think that
exactly. Even that, yeah, exactly.
And I think we definitely could use a lot more of that, as opposed to sometimes it seems in Hollywood things get homogenized, for lack of a better term. And I think that can be a problem, like you said. But we need, people like you that are willing to kind of go out and, put your dues in and go through the paces and everything, in order to kind of break through and force that change on people.
Yeah, because basically I even written a screenplay myself, because as a jobbing actor, and you always wait for your little break here and there, but in the meantime you have to pay the bills. Huh? We live in the real material world. So obviously, as a kind of a day job, I'm kind of doing a bit of PA work and carer work for people with disabilities and children with autism and people with Parkinson disease and all kind of people that I meet. Mm-hmm. And I would say all kind of amazing people that I meet, because before they got these conditions, they sometimes had a normal life, as we could call it, and now they're a bit like they have to adapt to their new condition and their new way of life, and they still have so much to give. And so I decided to write a screenplay about that, about all those people that I'm meeting, all those amazing people that I'm meeting. And so I'm interacting with a lot of different characters, which I took inspiration from the real people I met. And so hopefully one day I will put this screenplay on the screen. And so it's still in negotiation and so on. So right now, that's why I cannot talk too much about it. But right. Basically, I have a project about diversity and all kind of people who are different in some ways. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you. I know. Speaking of things you probably can't talk too much about, I know how Disney is, so I know you can't mention a lot of anything. But as I mentioned at the top, you're going to be in the Artemis Fowl movie that comes out in August. What was it like to be on the set of a big kind of tentpole film like that?
Well, I must say it was amazing. Yeah, as you say, I won't be able to talk too much about it, but indeed it was like a mega production, and it's very. I've been to other big production like that before, I would say, because I was on. I was playing like just a tribe, something in Pan from Joe Wright.
Okay, yeah.
Like Peter Pan. So I was already on a big studio film, Warner Brothers back then. Then I was also on the Nutcracker. I was playing a bit of a standing for because another thing, being the size of a child, which I am. 4'11", you tend to be asked a lot to play doubles or standing in for child actors. Mm-hmm. So that's another kind of a thing that I'm doing sometime, which still allows me to be working like very small, but I mean still being like in big production film. Mm-hmm. So I was like this in the Nutcracker and the Real Worms as well, which was coming out a couple of months ago. It was in the cinema. And but being in big production like that is the real deal. It's the real kind of real big films, like 200-300 people on set every single day. And on that film, basically, I'm playing a kind of oh my god, I'm forgetting now. Well, I was like every single day 4 hours and a half on makeup chair before I was ready. So yeah.
A goblin, right? You play a goblin?
A goblin, yeah, that's the thing. I just had like a little memory problem. That's okay. Yeah, I'm playing a little nasty goblin.
So yeah, all that makeup, I'm sure is that's probably a little tasking, huh?
Yeah, it was an amazing. It was an amazing experience. Like every day, like waking up at 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. I was picked up at the hotel. My way to the studio, then makeup chair like for 4 hours and a half, then quick breakfast with a straw, because I had like a lot of I had a prosthetic mask and everything and fake teeth and everything, so. Was like incredible. The transformation was like incredible. Once it's coming out in the theater, you will understand what I mean.
Right.
And we were quite a couple like that, and I think it was just an amazing experience, really, and to be part of this such a big project. And obviously, as I say, my part is quite a very small part, but I mean, still, I was there, and it was just amazing to be part of it. Yeah. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see the results in the theater this summer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that is all the time we have here on Massive Late Fee. Thank you for joining us, Giuseppe Lentini.
And thank you so much for having me.
Where can people find you on the internet? Do you have like Facebook or Twitter, stuff like that?
Yeah. So first, I have my own website, which is it's called giuseppelentini.com.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Twitter is Giuseppe Lentini as well. And basically, if you go on Google and type Giuseppe Lentini actor, then you'll have all my things coming up. But also I'm also on Instagram, so it's Giuseppe Lentini _actor. And but I mean, basically, there's only one like me. So if you type Giuseppe Lentini, the little guy actor, you see like, everything's gonna come up.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you here. We definitely invite you to come back anytime. Thank you so much, Giuseppe Lentini.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Mark, and thank you for the opportunity. And I hope your audience will be able to take some of it and maybe inspire other people themselves.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mark. Bye bye.